Hey everyone, I'm your host, Heine Zachariasen, the founder of Vivino, the world's largest wine community and most downloaded wine app in the world. If you're listening or watching, you're probably a part of the Vivino community. Thank you very much for that. We are back in the Vivino studios on the outskirts of Copenhagen. If you haven't heard our first episode, the pilot, make sure you go back to listen to that. And you can also watch this on YouTube for a video version, so check that out too. And we are moving into Q4, which is the busiest period for Vivino and most everyone in the wine business. People enjoy a lot of wine during Christmas, Black Friday, Thanksgiving, all those things. So a busy period for us. Today's topics are very exciting. We're going to talk about the one feature that I think is the most anticipated one for premium. I'm not going to give it all away, but it has something to do with drinking wine in a restaurant. So do look forward to that with a full demo and everything. So excited to talk about that. And we have more features than that too. Then we have the world famous 5-star game. We're going to talk about the reviews, the spicy reviews from our users. Some of them good, some of them less good. We need to improve, but do look forward to that. Uljana and Oleg, welcome back from our product team. So we're excited to dive in again. Last time we talked about the rapid fire compare mode, the wine insights, and the wine adventures. And before we dive into what we're going to talk about, the features and so on, again, which is exciting. This is, for me, one of my favorite features is coming up here. So I am excited. I get excited, you know that. But before we get to my excitement on this, how's Premium doing? It's been another month. How's it going?
It's going really well. So Premium has been launched now a little bit over than 3 months ago. So it's a baby. It's a tiny baby. There's still a lot of things we need to improve inside the offering itself. We did launch it quite early in order to get the initial feedback for us to start building the thing that people really want to see. And I think it's been going really well. We're a little bit over 30,000 subscribers right now.
Incredible, yeah.
Interestingly enough, most of our subscribers actually choose the annual plan. Which is something that was an internal discussion within Vivino, as we kind of like placed our guesses down. So Heine went for a really high number that I doubted at the beginning, but he was right. So we have way more people choosing the annual plan than the monthly plan, which I think is just a good illustration of, well, first of all, it's discounted, but second, that the premium offering is just a way for people to support us. And I think we definitely feel it. We feel it.
And they're ready to commit. Like, I'm ready to.
Definitely.
So we appreciate the support from the community there for sure.
Yes. So it's going really well. That said, we know that we need to continue working on premium. So it's not a final success. It's not an indication for us to just stop doing anything premium. We need to continue improving the offering. We need to continue building new features. And that's what we're going to talk about here. Like there are 3 more features that are coming out this year. So lots of releases.
And we're in November, so there's not that much left of the year.
There's not much time left. But we've been working hard for months now to prepare those features for the release for premium.
So 3 more features coming. That is very exciting. Let's start diving in. The first one we're going to look at is called perfect pairing. And we know from previously that food pairing is something that our users really want. A lot of our users associate wine with food, which makes sense. You often have them together. And our features there have been, should we say, weak. So what is perfect pairing? How does it work?
So perfect food pairing is taking broad food categories that we had up until now. We had 20 or so, like beef or poultry, to provide users with more granular food pairings. So we will have more than 500 dishes now with the first version, allowing users to find the perfect pairing for any wine that they're looking up on Vivino.
Okay, so basically it starts with you're looking at a wine. Obviously, true wine lovers, they would start with the wine and then match the food. I mean, some people will look at the food first and then the wine, but for now that is the case here. But you can basically take any wine in the world and pair it with a course. And 500 courses, I don't know how many courses we eat in a year, but it's quite a lot actually, and it's very detailed. So yes, super excited about it. And you also have pictures of the courses, so you can see them. It's very visual.
And we're not going to stop at the current number of dishes. So we'll have a way for our premium users to also tell us about some missing dishes that we can add into the database. But there is plenty. So when we try to add all the local dishes that our users in France or Italy or in other countries, they would really want to see in the list.
Cool. With that, let's move into a demo. What does the perfect food pairing look like?
Yeah, so let's get started by just opening the Vivino app. It's been available for premium users for a couple of weeks now, so everyone can go in and find it for themselves after this. But I can start with a bit of a story maybe, or like one of my personal use cases that I had. Recently went to a winery visit in France with my family over the summer, a little winery in Bordeaux, close to Saint-Emilion. And I still have a couple of bottles at home, and my family now is coming over the holidays. And I was thinking it would be nice to maybe cook something together, something French, find something that, would allow us to share these nice bottles together. So what I would start doing is just going to my cellar where I keep all of the bottles that I have on Vivino. And here you can see that's one of the bottles that I was referring to, the Saint-Emilion Grand Cru from 2016.
Oh, some good wine, huh?
Yeah, it's a good wine. It's like a nice little winery on like a hillside just over the Dordogne River. Makes it a really interesting wine. So I can just go to the wine page where I see all of the information about the wine. You can see here it has a 4.3 rating based on 28 ratings on Vivino. And then I can just scroll down now on the wine page to a new section or revised section that we have here, showing me what it pairs well with. So at the top, you can see some broad categories like game, poultry, lamb, beef. And then it actually also shows me already some of the suggested dishes that it would be a perfect fit for. So I can see here shepherd's pie in this case, or like I have 3 suggestions, duck à l'orange, looking for something French, that could be a good option. But then if I have something more specific in mind, what I can do is I can also just tap here where we have this call to action button that says choose a dish. And then what opens up is a list view of all of the dishes that we were talking about, over 500. They're sorted alphabetically, so you can see here, starting with A, we have everything from asparagus and blue cheese risotto to apple pie. And then we have all of the dishes. So I can just go through if I feel inspired or I don't know what I'm looking for, or I'm more open-minded, I can just browse through it. But I can also search for specific dishes. Going back to the categories, I saw, okay, beef is a good fit. Like a steak is always an easy thing to do. Let me see if that is a fit. So I can just type it in, look for it, and then it just shows me the level of fit that it is. And in this case, it's a perfect fit.
Oh, wow. And a picture on there.
Exactly.
So some of the courses, this is important to me apparently, but some of them have pictures, some of them have not.
Yeah, exactly. We're still kind of
populating it.
Exactly. Not sure if I would cook it, it would look that nicely, but it's nice to see. Another option could be maybe coq au vin, like a very French dish. I don't know. I've never cooked it myself.
I have tasted it, obviously. I've tasted most, haven't cooked it.
Okay, it also seems to be a perfect fit for that option. Now, let's say, like my mom is a vegetarian, so that always makes things a bit more complicated. So we tried to cook several things. So let's see if I can find something that would fit in this case as well. A quiche, maybe. Quiche Lorraine has meat, so maybe a goat cheese and sun-dried tomato quiche would be an option.
Ooh, maybe not.
No.
What does it say? Does it say not a good idea, or is it horrible match? Or
it say that it's not ideal to pair it with it. So let me try something else. A tartiflette is always nice winter when it's cold. Oh, okay. Also not ideal for that. Okay, so let me try to find maybe a ratatouille. Nice recipe for that. And here we go. It tells me that it's great with. So we basically have these 4 different categories. It can tell me whether it's a perfect fit, whether it's a great fit, whether it might work for a dish, or whether it's not that good of a fit for you. And then I can also, like on New Year's, raclette might be nice. So I can also look for that. And here we go.
yeah,
Not a good idea. And this is basically the next use case that we're looking into now. It's like if I know that I'm going to do a raclette on New Year's, I can actually pick that as my starting point and find some of the wines that I might want to buy or pair with a specific dish as well. So that's something that, might be coming up in the future.
So we're starting with the wine page. And basically what this means is that you can take any wine in the world, like plus 10 million wines in the database, and match it with any of these courses, which is really, really cool. And down the line, like you say, we're going to find some other ways of getting into that. Fantastic.
Exactly.
Thank you. So what do you say about food pairing?
I think it's very exciting. We started food pairing some years ago. We've had it now in the apps for a while, but it was always very, very basic. You could only see the basic dish categories like beef or chicken. And we all know that you can prepare beef and chicken. Well, I don't eat meat, but but you can prepare it in like thousands of different ways that would taste quite differently. So I think it's a very important step towards actually making that feature much more useful. The next step that we're now considering, that we're actually now looking into, is implementing it outside of the wine page.
Yeah.
So right now, as the flow that Uliana showed, is that you start with the wine and then you look for a dish that you want to pair the wine with. We'll know that, to your point, that sometimes it happens in the reversed order when you have a dish in mind and you are looking for a wine in a supermarket. So what we're looking right now is integrating the functionality into other places in the app, so that you could start with the dish and find the right wine for that purpose. And of course, the 500 plus set of dishes, that's just a starting point.
Yeah.
So if there is something that is missing, we would like to hear from the audience. We would like to hear from our premium users, because we would like to make sure that we add it into the list. So we'll talk about how exactly they can tell us, but there will be a way for them to let us know what's missing in the list.
Cool. And I mean, the other way you could do that is, hey, I'm having ossobuco. In my cellar, what's the best pairing, right? I mean, we have the data to do that. I'm sure we'll do that at some point too.
Exactly.
Cool. That is the perfect pairing. Let's move into the one that I've teased a lot here, which I am incredibly excited about. And it's the wine list scanner, something that we released many years ago and we're not like super happy with. We were maybe in the beginning, but a lot has happened over the last few years. And now we're giving it a major overhaul. And it is just this incredibly important use case where you're sitting at a restaurant, somebody throws the wine list at you, and there you have it. You don't have a clue what's on there. And I'm sure for you guys, oh, Uliana, you work at Vivino. Here's the wine list. Does that ever happen?
Yes, it's very embarrassing at times. Yeah, it makes me very nervous.
Yeah, exactly. And I guess that happens to you too.
All the time. But luckily, there is a wine list scanner functionality in the app. And now it's going to be much more improved than what we had before. So it's not a secret that we used to have the feature. Yeah. We released it a long time ago, and we haven't really improved it. And all the feedback that we received about the feature is that it's just often doesn't work. Yeah. It often just tries to do its best, but sometimes just doesn't see the lines when they are breaking apart. So when the wine is described in multiple lines, then it just can't really figure out how to combine it all together. Or just the overall experience was very clunky. Yep. So the way you switched between wines was never very optimal. So what we heard from our users is that, when it works, it's amazing, but when it doesn't, it's just like, I don't want to use it ever again. No. So we wanted to fix that. Yeah, it's like the users loved the idea of it, didn't always love how it worked. And that's what we want to change now. So basically what you do with this is you hopefully can eat any wine list in the world. We're not sure about that yet, but have we tested with a lot of wine lists here, or what's been going on? With a lot of wine lists. Yeah, like we're lucky to have probably the largest database of wine lists, as we do store the wine lists that we're not sure weren't matched well, so that we can retrain the algorithm on, so that we can see what went wrong there. So we can see when it doesn't work well. So we have improved it a lot, and there are of course some ways we can improve it even further. So when it doesn't work well, we would like to hear from our users so that we can look at the wine list and retrain the algorithm to work better. Yeah, cool. So a huge problem or it's like challenge that a lot of people have that hasn't been solved yet is this situation in the restaurant, right? Okay, Uliana, let's have a look at the wine list scanner. And where are we? You brought some wine lists. This one's in California somewhere? Exactly. This one is in California. We have a wide selection here. We have some here from London. Okay. Some from Copenhagen. But yeah, we can get started with the one from California. Let's do it. Perfect. So let me pull up the app again. And this time it will be a testing build, because this is not something that is released to our users yet, but it will be coming up over the next few weeks. So in November, watch out. But so the way that you start is that you go to the scanner as you know it. And as you can see here, we've made some changes already to the normal scanning. You can see that you can select between a wine label and a wine list, so you can easily toggle between the two and simply select the wine list for this example. And then all you have to do is just point at the wine list, press the shutter button, and then magic happens. Oh, it's quite fast, huh? Yeah. That was very fast. Yeah, exactly. We made it faster and more reliable. And
Now you have here an overview of all of the wines on the wine list. They have been pre-selected on the image, and you can see the Vivino rating next to it. And then at the bottom, you can see overview of the wines. You can actually swipe through it, and then it will just take each wine chronologically. Or alternatively, you can simply select a wine on the wine list. So for example, here you can see that's a 4.0. Let me check that wine. It's based on 1,442 ratings. It's a 77% match for you.
Oh, a little bit on the lower side, though. I would want to go higher.
Exactly. Yeah, maybe try another one. We have a 4.1. Yeah, 79% match.
Oh, not much that matches with you, huh?
Yeah, exactly. A tricky one. But then what I can also do is that I can edit the wine or year. So as you can see here, it's from 2018, and it actually matched it correctly. But we know that some of the wine menus are very different. So it actually don't contain all of the information. So users always have the possibility to edit the wine. So they can go in here, and then they can just select another wine, or can edit exactly, or can research basically for the wine. Or alternatively, they can also just change the vintage.
Which is going to happen. I guess some wine lists don't have the vintage on there, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's for those cases, then users can actually also just do it manually themselves. And then users also just have the possibility to tap on the wine, and then they're led to the wine page to actually see all of the information about the wine.
Okay. So if you look at the list, the thing you scanned there, which one has the highest rating?
We have several ones with 4.3. We can see here from the US one. That is an 89% match.
There you go. You should pick that one.
Yeah, just go for that one.
Yeah. Fantastic.
I must say it was much faster than the World Wine List Canada.
Yes.
Before.
Yeah, it's faster, it's more reliable, it has a better user experience, and it also contains more information here up front, like the percentage match for you. You get it already here in that overview. And that's something that we would also like to hear from users about, right? What information would be valuable to have here up front before going and checking it out on the wine page.
That is magical. Like, they throw the wine list at you, and then you can just take a picture, and there you have it. All the wines, all the ratings, even match for you if you're doing a solo dinner. So there is another way too, because you can take a picture, right, and put it up there. What's that like?
Exactly. So that's basically the use case of wanting to prepare maybe a bit before going to a restaurant. So you mentioned earlier, are you asked at a restaurant to pick a good wine because you work at Vivino? For example, if you want to prepare and make sure that you're actually able to do so with confidence, what you can do, a lot of restaurants have their wine lists up online. You can just go and check it out, and then.
So this is great, because then I would prepare and look like I know. Oh, this one is amazing. This is probably a 4.2 on Vivino, and then you spend 2 hours before doing that. That's a good idea. I like this. Go ahead.
Exactly. So basically, what you can do, you start off the same way. You go into the scanner, you select the wine list, and then you have this little option here in the bottom left corner to upload an image. So all you can do is go here, and then as you can see here, I already took a screenshot from a bar here in Copenhagen, Bar Poldo, and took a simple screenshot of the wine menu that was available online, and then I can crop it here and add it. It's going.
Oh, that's fast too.
And here we go. So similar as actually just taking it live, I can just upload something and can prepare.
For me, the wine list scanner is magical, and it is, as of this release, it is out, right?
Yes, exactly. So you can go check it out. It's in your app right now. It's inside the scanner, so it's easy to find now. Before it was a little bit hidden. So go check it out. You can see how it works. Tell us what works, what doesn't. We want to make sure that we continue improving the algorithm. We know that it's much better than what we had before, but it's not perfect. No. So if there are cases when it breaks, we want to know. So just let us know. We can improve it for you, so next time it will work better.
Yeah. And to all the users out there, like, you wouldn't believe how different all these wine lists are. When you really start gathering, when people come to us and say, hey, this doesn't work, we've seen it all. So please keep sending those, and the algo will get better and better. Perfect. We are moving to the next thing here, and that is drinking window. Let's first explain what drinking window is. It's not a window you look through. It is something else. And some people get confused what it is. So let's start with that. What is a drinking window? Essentially,
the drinking window tells you whether you should drink the wine now or whether you should hold the wine and drink it in the future, right? It tells you the window of like the drinkability of the wine.
Yeah. Okay. And most of us are not like wine experts, but most wines are designed to drink right now. But if you have a Bordeaux, it's actually not built to drink right now. It's built to hold and then drink later. And with these better wines, it just becomes more relevant. They improve quite a lot over the years.
And it gets more complex as well.
Yes.
Right? Like it very much depends on the style of a wine.
Yes.
So normally that's something that you would look up. That's something that you would look for expert advice on. But we're changing that.
Yeah.
Like ours is not based on the expert opinion. Ours is based on the community.
Yeah. And this is what is different. Like we don't need a person to go in and taste, because millions of people have tasted these wines, and we now have the data to say when the drinking window is for any wine in the world. So how do we do that?
It's based on the wisdom of the crowd, and I think that's why it's so exciting for us, because that's really sort of the essence of Vivino. And we did, a bit of an analysis of that beforehand. And the way that we do it is that we look at when wine was started to be rated on Vivino, and the volume that we get of ratings for a given wine. And then the second thing that we look at is actually the ratings and how they evolve over time. So, and then we look at the mean, and then basically we derive the drinking window from that.
Yeah.
It's quite an advanced algorithm.
Exactly.
I've sat down with the data engineer that has been working on the feature. It's amazing. Like you see those graphs, and then especially when you compare different styles, you can see when people start drinking it, the first ratings that come in that are lower than the future ratings. So you can actually deduct the drinking window just based on those graphs.
Yeah.
And then you can see how different it is based on different styles.
Yeah. And I've also sat down with the engineers there, and obviously really smart people. I was super impressed by that. One of the very interesting findings is that there are certain wine styles that some people would store and hold, and our data says no. There's no difference in rating in the first 10 years. Whereas others, like we talked about earlier, like a Bordeaux and so on, our data shows exactly, but just more precisely, obviously, how long you should hold and when you should drink and so on. So digging into that data was very, very impressive. I'm not sure there's a big demo here, but we should show something, right? And see what this looks like inside the app.
Right, so let me open here our testing app, and I'll just go into the scanner and look at some of my recent scans here. We have some here for the podcast, one French one Spanish one, and a French one. So let's start with the Saint-Emilion Grand Cru. We can go in here. And now for the first version, what you will see is that you will have an indication of the drinking window as part of the premium insights. So in this case, you can see the drinking window for this wine is from 2023 to 2041. So you can drink it now or hold it. And it's great, but it will also age well. And this is for the 2018 vintage. But what I can also do...
So you're saying in this particular case, you should actually hold it 5 years because it's from 18 to 23, but it might not have released right away. So who knows?
And then I can also just check, for example, another vintage to show you what it would look like. So I can go down on the wine page and then take the 2019 vintage of this wine. And as you can see here, the drinking window is already a bit different. So here it says that it would be best to hold the wine 2024 to 2042. Okay. So that's good to know that I should not open this wine at this moment.
So drinking window, obviously not relevant for all users, but for the user that's relevant, it's very, very relevant.
Exactly.
And people are excited. What do you want to say, Oleg?
And especially relevant once we integrate it, as you said, into the cellar functionality, and it's coming. So you'll be able to see when the wine is about to expire, air quotes. And so that's going to become even more helpful there. But again, that's another feature where we definitely want to hear back from the community. Like now, it's going to be a part of the wine page first. Then it's going to appear in cellar. Where it makes sense. But then we, of course, want to know more about how exactly our users use it. Yeah. So if there are any other functionality that they are looking for instance, how much it should be present during the scanning flow, whether that's something that our users want to see upfront before they actually pick a wine, for instance, potentially storing it, that's something that we would like to know. So please tell us through the new functionality that we'll talk about in a sec. And we'll make sure that the drinking window becomes even more relevant for you.
Perfect. That is the drinking window. And I've been blown away about the data we have. And we have 13 years of data now because of the app, but people rate all the way back to the 90s and 80s and so on. And every day, every year, this data just improves. So this drinking window is just going to get stronger and stronger thanks to the community. Next, we have the Premium Hub. And I'm not going to say a lot here, but I've heard something. So who wants to introduce the Premium Hub?
we've been now hinting towards it a little bit throughout the whole episode, as this is the new way for us to talk to our users. Like we have been lacking that communication channel. Well, the podcast is one of them. Like it's a way for us to tell what's happening, but it's a little bit one directional. We will want to change that. We want to make sure that we can get more input back from our community, so we can understand what's happening and how they feel about the new features, so that we can actually build premium for our community. So that's why we are releasing a new way to communicate with our users, to tell them what's happening right now with Premium and the new product development, and to get their feedback. So that's called Premium Hub.
Very cool. And it's a web platform, I would assume. And what can we do on the Premium Hub? I mean, before we dig into it, what is available there? Is it feedback? Is it voting? Is it discussion? What is it?
All of the above. There's a lot of things that we have on the page. It is a web page that is open to our premium users, and it's going to be a regular newsletter that we also send to our premium users.
So it's going to be like an insider newsletter that comes from this. Okay. And do you go there and sign up, or do I log in? What happens? How does it work?
You'll get a special email that will tell you all the instructions how to access that special page. Okay. So as a premium user, you will know how to find it.
Okay. So and that special email just got out last week or so, right?
Yeah, so it's already out, and once you become a premium user, you will also get a special email, a special invitation to join the Premium Hub or to get access to Premium Hub. So just go check it out. It's in your email, and there is a special link to access the Premium Hub.
So Uliana is bringing up the Premium Hub. First thing I will say, it looks amazing. So once you get that email, you got to go there. Uliana, tell us more about it.
Yes, so you can see it here, the new Premium Hub. We already talked about it. It's a way for us to be just a lot more transparent about what's going on, insights of like all the things that we're working on. But most importantly, a way for everyone to get involved and have a say in what we're building next on Premium. At the top here, you have just a bit of an introduction, and then a section here for the recent releases, just reminding users what is part of the Premium offering. We have a quick overview of the quick compare mode, of the wine adventures, of the match for you, and the premium insights. And then also the recent additions. You can see the perfect pairing here that we just launched with some visuals and a bit of an explanation of what that exactly entails. And then we're also just showing a bit more openly what's coming up next, right? Because users currently don't really have any insights into that. So we also want to just share a bit more proactively with users what we're working on, because a lot of it is based on a lot of the feedback that we've been getting. So here you can see the wine list scanner, which is coming soon or might already be available. And then I think this is the section that we're most excited about, is the please vote section. So this is the section where users can input or have a say into what we should build next. And we have already added examples here based on the many conversations that we've had with premium members globally since the launch, but also the survey that we had sent out to users. And so users can go in and just basically tell us how important that is for them.
Give us an example of that.
So here, for example, we have an option of creating multiple cellars. That's something that we've talked to users about or have heard from them. They have maybe a cellar, or like they have 2 different fridges at home or 2 different cellar locations. And right now it's difficult to manage them in one big list. So that's one of the things that we've added here, and users can now actually tell us how important that is for them, so we can quantify and prioritize, because that's essentially all it is about, right? We have so many ideas and we hear so much from users, but we need a starting point. And this is a way to actually make it a lot more transparent as well, to just showcase all of the options that, are out there, or all of the problems or needs our users have and that we want to.
What kind of vote can I do? Is it like a yes, no, not important? What are the options?
Yeah, you can tell us how important it is to you. So whether it's like a nice to have addition, right? Because that's also some of the conversations that we've had with users. Yeah, I can definitely see how that can help me, but it's not super important for me on my day-to-day of how I use Vivino. And then, we have important or very important. And then users can also just add more to that list, right? This is based on the existing feedback that we have collected up until now, but we also want to open that up for users to just contribute more ideas, and then others can, again, vote on them, share how important it is for them.
Very cool. Okay, fantastic. It's going to be exciting to see what people say here, but also obviously on the podcast, we will bring some of those ideas up and look at what people think is important and what's not important.
So we're really curious to see how this list will evolve over the next few weeks. So we can't wait. And then we have a last section here, which is just some more insights. We call it Data Decanted. So for October, we picked up trends or curiosities from the Vivino community. You can see here is an example of the best review based on the likes that the review got. We have it here from Hans Schneeberger. I don't know if he's German. It's in German, at least, the review. It got 578 likes. We have also added a translation here.
So basically, this is a user review that just got incredibly popular.
Exactly.
Is it good? What does it say?
So it says, Conterno is located in Monforte. This is the regular Barolo, which is produced from 3 vineyards. It is aged for 18 months in large oak casks. It has a wonderfully aromatic and complex nose with floral, cherry, autumn leaves, truffle, and strawberry jam notes. On the palate, it is clean and mature, with integrated tannins, dense, and a feminine elegance in the finish. Very fine.
Wow, that's poetry, huh? Incredible.
We also have the best discussion here. So this is the review that got the most comments from Odedi. It got 176 comments. And then the final thing is also just getting feedback on this format. Again, this first version was based on some of the live conversation we had with a selected group of premium users. But of course, there's a lot more we can do or things that we can tweak. So this is a way for users to just give us feedback on that format. Is there anything that we should add? Is there anything that we should improve? This is where users can also have a say in that.
Premium Hub, the way to engage with the Vivino team and what we're going to build and so on. What do you say, Oleg?
I think it's very exciting. We want to get more feedback from our community. We want to build the things that they want to use. So I think that's the way for us to prioritize what we need to build next. So please get involved. Please cast your votes. We want to build the right product for you.
Good. We are moving into part 3 here. So now the fun starts. I will say that. This is, we're getting into the community part here. It's our world famous 5-star game. Again, it's not all 5-star reviews. We're going to start with 5 stars and move down to 4, 3, 2, 1. And how do you feel about that, guys? Because we've talked about this before, and you say you read every single review. And is that still true?
It's still true.
Good.
So it's not going to be a surprise to us, but they're reacting to them without knowing. That's going to be a fun challenge.
So Leon and Oleg obviously do not know what we're going to take here. So let's start with the layup, the 5-star one. This is a 5-star review from Beata F. Every single time I bump into someone at the shops looking lost when standing in front of the wine selection, I literally cannot help myself. I have to go back to them, tell them about the app and ask them about what types of wine they like, flavor profiles, recommend bottles, and according to their budget. I've never had someone tell me to F off, only ever had positive experiences. Knowledge shared is in and itself a treasure. So this person, Beata, thank you very much. 5 stars, very positive, and loves telling people about Vivino, or maybe not telling them about Vivino, just tell them what she learned from Vivino, and then tell people about it. So what do you think here?
Right, so such a common story. Like I've had so many encounters at the wine aisle at the supermarkets, in different supermarkets. Like I think the most recent one was in somewhere in Michigan, where I was scanning a wine at the supermarket, and then a lady came over and she was surprised to see someone using Vivino there. Like she was excited to like talk about it, and when I told her that I work for Vivino, she told me the story of herself. She downloaded the app. She was told about Vivino by her friend, I think a year prior to that, and then fell in love with the app, started using more because she really liked wine but didn't really know much about wine, and then started rating more and more, discovered that you can actually get in touch with the community there. You can see all the highly ranked users on Vivino. So I think she found a few folks there that she started communicating with, like sharing some wines and like sharing some tips, and then actually got a job selling wine at one of the local places there in Michigan.
Wow.
So Vivino resulted.
You got her a job.
In a career change for her. So she's happy now working with her hobby.
Fantastic. Amazing. I mean, I have another story, which is a little bit different. This is in the very early days of Vivino, probably 10 plus years ago. And this is not in a shop, but we had Apple in town. They were visiting us, and it was like important for us. We didn't have a relationship, and the app wasn't really very big at the time. And we're sitting down for dinner in a restaurant here in Copenhagen, and goddamn, somebody starts using Vivino right behind it. It's like we had staged it. It's like, oh, someone's using Vivino right there. Like, yeah, this is amazing.
Yeah.
So really, look, we had a few of those encounters, and it's like you appreciate it every single time. So
Sure.
this was the layup. This is easy. So let's get into the more spicy stuff here, shall we? 4-star rating by Kari. I use the app primarily for tracking my collection seller. I love the ratings for purchase decisions and algorithm for the taste that's spot on. I should have given it 5-star years ago. I then could remove a star, hence 4, for the intrusive, annoying bottom banners. I don't care if it's available for sale or not. I likely already have the bottle or have scanned it in a restaurant or a shop. Let me read my whole screen. At least put an X on the damn thing. If I want similar wine, I can scroll. So this is about whether a wine is for sale or a similar wine is for sale on the screen. Kari feels that this is very intrusive. Thoughts on that?
Yeah, so first of all, thank you a lot for this feedback. Yeah, this is one of the more recent editions. I think we've released that over the last year or so. And yeah, reviews like that are super helpful. We have received, I would say, a mix of feedback. I think for some users, they found it to be very helpful. But then, yeah, we also have other users that say that it's too intrusive. Yeah. So I think, honestly, right now, we don't have a perfect solution for it at the moment. But it is super helpful for us to actually get an idea from users of, how they use it and in what ways it might not work for them, for us to actually be able to, tweak it in the future and make sure that it works for most of our users.
And I think that's also the exact reason why we now release Premium Hub. So we would like to know how much our users want to customize their experience. Mm-hmm. So if some users want to see, that's fine. It should be present there. If for some of our users, it's too annoying and it just doesn't fit the way they use the app, we would like to know, because then we can implement it for them.
I mean, someone could go on the hub and say, I hate the banner at the bottom, and others will say, important to me too, right? So you'll see how important it is, But obviously this relates to e-commerce and selling wine through the app. Do we know if it's working? Is this banner working?
Yeah, like we know that there's been a lot of users who discovered some really good wines that they would like to buy. It's a very similar, very common situation where you scan a wine that you like, that unfortunately it's not on sale on Vivino, but then you can find a very similar purchase there that might be even better rated or might be even cheaper or both. And then you can find a good replacement for the wine that you actually enjoy. Another
tricky one where some users really use and love a feature, and for others it's in the way. So it's not easy. We are again getting more spicy here. 3-star by user Lovell Cooper. It's not just the fact you started with ads, but clicking on a particular wine and having a loud pop-up video ad for a male stripper come on such a brutal turn on an otherwise enjoyable app. Not sure why these page inserts wouldn't be considered. The video ads are tacky and invasive, not the image or style you should convey for this platform. Highly suggest reconsidering what you show. This makes me want to try your premium services less. I suspect I'm not alone.
Yes, thank you for the feedback. Yeah. It is true that the first implementation of the ads is rather intrusive.
Yeah.
It is also true that the ads that we showed in the beginning were very relevant to our users. And that's something that we're working on. The intention is not to make your app experience horrible. We would not want you to launch the app and just be annoyed every single time you have to use it. We would like you to see some relevant advertising. It makes sense for us to promote some of our partners' offerings, especially if the ones that are relatively relevant to our users. That said, we also want to make sure that this is a way for our premium users to get a better experience. Yeah. So premium users will not get any ads in their app, but the ads should become way more relevant. So that's something that we're actively working on. They have already improved, and it's going to get much better rather soon.
Yeah, obviously we were testing in the beginning and trying to figure out what works, what doesn't, and you were definitely pushing the boundaries, I would say. I say when it goes well, I say we. When it gets bad, I say you.
It also takes time for the ad platforms that we work with to actually understand our audience to start showing more relevant ads.
Exactly.
So in the beginning, you get some very generic ads, and some of them would be some rather annoying examples. But the more our platforms also know about our users, the better the ads will get.
Yeah. Better and more relevant. But thank you for that feedback. It's very important. We are moving on. 2-star by Arjan Shafe. It has finally gone down the drain. Over the last few months, it seemed that functionality of the app was regressing. And now, with Premium, it's clear why. everywhere. Annoying ads pushing you to their new money cow, and the layout of the wine information is more horrible than ever. If it was an app without any other revenue stream, I would just take it as it is. But since I'm regularly ordering via Vivino, it is highly annoying to me. It's time to find an alternative. So this again, thank you for this. But the point that they're making is, why are you pushing all these ads when I'm buying through the app? Which is obviously a good point too.
I think that's definitely one of the questions that we have as well. Like, we want to cater to as many users as possible, and ads are a way for us to keep the experience free. Like, buying on Vivino is a way to cater to users that mostly discover and buy wine through Vivino. And then the premium offering is a way for us to cater to users that use maybe more the utility side of the app to manage wines and track their wines. And yeah, it's still early on in the journey, and we are trying to do it in a way that it doesn't cannibalize the experience for, like, for example, the buyers. And we're working on like a lot of things, like working on different tracks, like one being on the premium side to actually improve the offering to make it really worth the money. We talked about a lot of the additions that are coming up now. Then on the ad side, yeah, it's been early. We've tried a lot, experimented with the placements, the formats, the frequency. We're trying to make them more relevant. We want ads to be something that helps support the free experience, not ruin it. It's really important for us. So there's a lot of things that we're doing there, especially for those users that we know are high contributors to the platform that are buying on Vivino, to not make this a terrible experience. And then, of course, we're also looking at that buying journey, right? What do we need to do to more seamlessly integrate that into the experience and make sure that that is still a smooth and simple, convenient journey for our users?
And this user is among the 3% that is buying on the app, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's probably makes it a little bit more annoying.
And we would like to know, of course, like what should be the premium experience for those users as well.
Yeah.
So those are very special users for us, as they use the app not just to scan or document their wine experience and wine journey, but also to buy wine through the app. Yeah. So we'd like to see if there is anything that they would like to also see inside the premium offering itself. So if we can make their wine purchasing experience better within premium, we would like to know.
Okay, we are getting to the final one, which also means it is the 1-star review.
Oh,
yes, 1 star by user Baltic Sailor from Germany. The app is overloaded with advertising and useless speech bubbles, unless you invest monthly €5 for a sales platform. That is kind of like going to CNA and charging €5 your entrance fee so you can buy there. The point being, I don't want to pay money to use a buying platform. We've talked about this before, but the numbers are still 3% are buying, 97% are not. So what do you guys think about this?
I think it's very simple. Vivino is not just a buying app.
No.
Most of our users, the vast majority of our users, use the app for not buying wine in the app, but for other purposes. To document their wine journey, to learn about wine, to manage their wine cellar,
food pairing,
to friends, to see a food pairing, and all of that. Vast functionality that we first need to build and then we need to maintain. And that requires money. We need to pay the bills there. That's why premium exists for those features.
Good. Any other final comments on this one, or is that it?
I think the last thing for us to say is it poses quite a challenge for us to react to those reviews. It's not easy, but it's very important for us to know what's happening. Okay. So we appreciate all the reviews that are coming in. Even if some of them are 1 or 2 star reviews, we have seen a lot of new 1 and 2 star reviews happening on our platform or in App Store and Google Play, and we understand why. The introduction of premium is quite a big change for Vivino, but we're still quite grateful that our community wants to tell us what they think about what we're doing. We are experimenting a lot. We're testing a lot of things. We're learning as we go. So we're improving the offering. We're introducing more things. We're also iterating on the newly introduced ads to make the experience much better. Yeah. So of course, our end game here is not to upset everyone. Our end game is to make sure that both the free experience and the paid experience is the best that they can get inside Vivino. So we would like to continue iterating on both.
Yeah, and trying to avoid male strippers maybe when you're scanning a wine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but please do continue sending us feedback through all the channels that you can find. Now we have another way for our premium users to contribute. And for our free users, please do continue rating us on stores and tell us what you think about the most recent development.
I think it's super important. We read it every morning. We discuss it within the teams afterwards. So even the candid feedback is super helpful, right? I think it leads to some tough internal conversations, but it's super helpful. And I think, we all have the same end goal of like making Vivino work for our users. So keep them going.
And that's it for today. We hope you enjoyed the show and excited about the next one. If you haven't already heard the pilot, it's out there. You should definitely listen to that. Tell us what you think, and you can write to us at podcast@vivino.com. You could even send us a voice message, and we might feature that in the next episode. And of course, please make sure you follow and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. Thank you very much, Uliana and Oleg, and thank you to all our listeners.